up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
This is Season 2, Episode 30 motherfucking 9. I got 39. That was an old joke from 6th grade camp. So any of the homies who listen to this that were in 6th grade camp, there's maybe like 4 of you, and I don't think you guys listen to this show. But it's out there. So if I die and you guys hear this, that joke is in there. I got 39. Anyways, welcome everybody. What up? I'm your host, California Cal. I'm not one of those Californians. I believe that the pregnant man emoji on the iPhone is fucking hilarious and not factual. That's what I mean by that. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into this bitch. Like I said, this is the Damn Dude Podcast. We have the shows. What am I saying? This is the show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
We're here to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on life and context and perspective and the way that we think and view shit. Because I truly believe that the more access to context and perspective we have, and the more that we can understand them, the better life is and the easier life is to live and navigate through and have a good time living life and enjoying life and working through the hard parts. So, this show, we go in. It's always real. It's all real. It's all original. Something from the Cleveland criminal. So, you guys, welcome to the Welcome to the show. I am introducing this all crazy today. It is what it is. So, we got some good shit for you guys today. The topic plug came through like a motherfucker. What up to the topic plug? Been doing some incredible shit. So we're gonna basically just jump right into this. I hope you guys did your music homework for last episode. That was SD Wave by Tribe 24. Make sure you guys go peep that out. Go follow them on all the different social medias, wherever you listen to your music, all that good shit. They make some really, really, really quality stuff. So I encourage you guys to go check them out. Today, we've got new music homework for the day, for the episode. And we're going to get into some deep shit. So before we get into some real deep shit, I wanted to do the music homework first. I like to place the music homework in certain parts of the episode for certain reasons. And today we're doing it first. Again, I do not own the rights to the song. I'm just a huge fan. I literally fucking slap the song in traffic. I slap the song when I'm riding my bike. It's in my like main playlist of music of songs that I listen to. So like up there with like my favorite actual artists and shit. Like this song is in there. And today I just found the music video and I actually didn't watch the whole thing. I've just listened to the song and I just put it together. He's kind of talking about soccer and a few different things. A lot of these Mexican songs that I've been sharing or the Spanish songs, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I don't necessarily know what they're about. I get the gist, but I don't understand it all the way. So as I'm listening, I'm like, I can pick up enough words to catch the gist, but I don't actually like really know, you dig? So this song, oh shit. Again, we've got the band Grupo G, Grupo, and then G. Easy enough, right? This song is called Viejo Panzón. I know those. Viejo? What's Panzón? I feel so lame for not knowing this. Whatever, dude. This song is fucking hard. I do not own the rights to this song. I have no affiliation. I'm just a huge fan. I don't own the rights, so we're just going to play a little clip from this. Please go listen to this song. If you got kids, if you just need to get hyped, if you need some energy, if you're going to need some like good clean the house energy, you're trying to fucking work out slightly faster, slightly harder, you're trying to just go that much more in, this song will do it. Little kids love this song. I can't put the song on Royal and not be like beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop, and like do this little head back and forth dancing. It's the cutest shit. Your kids will go nuts if you listen to this song. So again, Grupo G, Viejo Panzón.
Empiezan las tentaciones y le das un llegue con cigarro a tus pulmones. Viejo panzón, que dice que sabe de fútbol.
Yo, this song goes so fucking hard. Yo, and I'm just realizing, like I said, I've never seen the music video, but yo, they got some hot ass, well, I think they're hot. They look like hot girls in the video. It's all like Mexican girls with big butts and little booty shorts and stuff, and like long flowing hair, then like goofy soccer players, and then like some fresh ass dressed dudes. This guy goes in. Dude, this song is so good. Yo, and I didn't realize the music video was it was like funny and cool. Yeah, they got some pretty hot girls in there too. That's crazy, yo. Again, that's Grupo G, Viejo Panzón. I might be saying all this shit wrong. I don't really care. I'm just reading it for as fucking we would read it, right? In the United States, I guess. So anyways, that's Grupo G. Go check them out. And today, this episode, we're getting into some deeper shit. Like I said, healing and generational baggage and how this affects the others around us and how this has to do with our family. And excuse me, I got a runny nose. It's like the weather's been cold and hot and cold and hot. And I just ran out in the earlier. And yeah, anyway, and I've been riding my bike to work and shit. That was pretty cool, by the way. So how can we, how can our own self-healing lead to breaking baggage within our own family? So, yo, self-healing is breaking generational baggage, just kind of like all together. Because what happens, what that, like basically how I take that and what that means is that, again, I'm just some fucking guy. I'm nobody special. I just have my insight and shit, and this is my show, so I'm going to speak on this how the way I want to speak on it. So try it on. If it fits, cool. If not, cool. But basically, when you go on doing self-healing, self-work, self-growth, personal development, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you're growing, you're getting better, you're expanding. The reason that's breaking generational baggage with our family is because you are now doing something different. You're not doing the standard mode of operation that your family would normally do. Blank occurs, this is the reaction. Blank occurs, this is the reaction. Well, if you look at different families, we're all going to handle things differently. So let's say the car breaks. Well, how are you going to handle it? Some people, they'll be like, oh my God, and freak the fuck out and be like, I need to call AAA. I need to tow my car here. I need to call there, whatever. Okay, you got that person. You got the next setup. And it's like, that's because that person's mom and dad, when the car broke, that's how they reacted. Pulled over on the side of the road and just called for help. Then you got the next set of people who grew up in a certain way. And their car breaks down and they're pulled over on the side of the road. They pop the hood. They bust out tools from the trunk and they just start fucking working on shit and try and start figuring it out. You got the other person who pulls over, has no clue what they're doing, but they're trying. And, their example that they were shown through their family lineage and stuff is that if something breaks, try to figure it out. You might fuck it up worse, but try. And you got other people, and it's like you got people on this whole spectrum and range of how they're going to react when their car breaks down. So if you consider, we all have the same thing for when somebody dies, when we get broken up with, when problems occur, when work problems occur, when life problems occur, when relationship problems occur, when spiritual problems occur, when financial problems occur, when educational problems occur, when life circumstances just occur. How our family because not all of us have families. So, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like we all kind of find one in a sense, even if you kind of got nobody, you still kind of have one because you got your little tribe of people, right? So whatever example was set or not set for you, that's how you respond to it. So when you take on learning new things, even though you already have an understanding of how life goes, that's breaking the baggage. It's breaking the lineage. So let's say you have no family. Let's say your parents abandoned you from birth. That's fine. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's shitty, absolutely, but there's nothing wrong with that because that same person still has the same opportunity to change and unlearn and relearn new things from smarter people. Now, how you know if you actually pass that test or not, if you actually change the generational baggage, would be if you had kids and you actually took care of them rather than abandoning them. That would be changing the cycle. That would be breaking the generational baggage or curse because you put your foot in the door and you said, no, not anymore. That's not how it goes down anymore. Or as who I am, we do not abandon our kids. We do, you know what I'm saying? That's the new standard for this family. And whatever reason they had for doing that, who knows, you know? I hate to say that there's any valid reason to leave your kids. But I think there are circumstances and there are certain like life positions that people get put in where somehow and oddly enough, that's what makes the most sense. Because if it wasn't, then it wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Everything in life happens the way it's exactly supposed to happen, whether we fucking like it or not. And this is the importance of doing the work, is to unlearn and relearn the way that we view life and situations and problems and different things as they occur is based off of how many new contexts and perspectives will we allow into our life to be able to see things differently. So when something happens, we know how to react. We know how to respond rather than just reacting. You dig? So that breaks the baggage. That breaks the generational shit. Now there's good shit from your lineage and in our baggage that are good things. Like how I explained how my like point of reference for life was to help people. When I saw my dad get out of the car and help this dude on a crashed motorcycle, my dad broke his own ankle trying to help the guy, and so on. That became my standard of, okay, I help people. That led me to want to be a firefighter. That led me to do what I do now, to teaching babies how to save their lives in the water and bringing peace of mind to families. Like that's my shit, you see? Now, when I see that example, that's a good piece of baggage I want to pass on to my kids. Because my grandpa is that type of person where he's going to stop and help people. And I can only imagine that his dad was like that. And I can only imagine that his dad was like that. Or completely not like that. You see, this is what's interesting is my grandpa's dad had to either be like, fuck everybody, we don't help anybody. Or like, fuck this, we help everybody. Because that's the kind of like the only way my grandpa could have been birthed with this like we help people sort of spirit, is because it got passed on one way or another, and my grandpa decided to flip it this way or that way. My grandpa said, we help people, we do what's right. So then my dad took that. He said, we help people, we do what's right. I took that. I said, we help people, we do what's right. And I want my kids to take that and be like, we help people, we do what's right. And the only reason I said it could have been the reverse too is because it's like people who are like, man, fuck people, fuck my kids, abandon my kids. Those people will oftentimes grow up to be amazing parents with great connections with their kids because they know what the opposite feels like. So a lot of times major pains and struggles will lead you to what your actual great thing is. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, being able to be alone, I always thought like I'm alone in this world. Ugh. But then I come to find out like, yo, me time, alone time with me is amazing. I love being with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I love doing shit by myself. It's a blessing. I know how to be by myself. There's some people who can't be by themselves with no music, with no whatever. Like even doing this podcast right now, just talking for a period of time. People can't do that by themselves. I'm talking to my fucking self. Even though how you guys hear this is that like I'm speaking to you guys by the time you hear this. But the reality is that I'm sitting here in a room by myself, talking to myself. The camera is not a living person. The microphone is not a living person. The computer's not a living person. So I'm sitting here talking to myself by myself. There's no music. There's no entertainment going on. You know what I mean? It's like maybe the colors on my like keyboard thing or whatever, but like that's the most excitement, you know? There's nothing else really going on. So I'm just here by myself, sitting with myself, by myself, in my thoughts and expressing this. So it's kind of like weird how a lot of times our baggage will lead us to the actual like gold. It's really weird. So this is what's fascinating about this, and this is where it really like struck me, is this part of this is, to some, healing can be confronting because it's not allowing certain behaviors to keep going.
Damn, dude.
Fire. Healing can be confronting because it's not allowing certain behaviors to keep going. So this is interesting. I just realized this now. I'd always thought about that in like terms of, all right, well, when I upgrade this level of myself, it rubs my parents or relatives or whoever the wrong way because they're used to seeing me this way. And when I start being this way, it rubs them the wrong way. When I start going and being adventurous and exploring, like the first, and I always got to make this real life, right? Hey, hold on. Let me finish reading this. To some, healing can be confronting because it's not allowing certain behaviors to keep going. But once we've been doing the work on ourselves, it can inspire those closest to us to question their own lifelong behaviors that have been embedded throughout generations.
Damn, dude.
These are some fucking fire-ass topics and questions and you know, whatever you want to call them. But it's confronting because the people can no longer treat you like they were treating you. It's not like people are going to treat you bad or this or that on purpose, but there's certain safety nets and understandings inside of most relationships where it's like, this is our level of respect. I know I'm not going to bring this stuff up with you or this or that, or, you know, like, you're not going to try to make people uncomfortable just because, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's like, that's your people. So once we've been doing the work on ourselves, it can inspire the closest to us to question their own lifelong behaviors that have been embedded. So an example of this for me in real life is when I said I was going to Peru. I was like, I'm going out to the jungle. I'm going to work with tribes. I'm going to do ayahuasca. I'm going to do ceremonies. And I'm going to fucking just live in the jungle for a while. And I'm going to come back and I've learned a bunch of new shit. And I got a lot of mixed responses from people. The majority of the people didn't know, just didn't understand what the fuck I was doing. They're just like, oh, you're going to Peru? Okay, that's cool. Like, it didn't really like hit them about what I was actually talking about. Hold on, fuck. Dang. Okay, we back. Sorry. I had for the camera folks, my apologies. I forgot to turn the light on. So here I am. I'm bright. Yeah, no. So when I was like, all right, I'm going to Peru. I'm peacing out. I'm going out to the middle of the fucking jungle. I got responses like, no, that's dangerous. Like, you're going to go do drugs. Oh, you're going to go trip the fuck out. Oh, what if you die? What if you get lost? What if you get hurt? And it's like people just start projecting their fears. And I start thinking, where did you get those fears from? And then when it's people, it's like my parents are like I remember my mom was always like, whoa, what the fuck? Like sick, you know, my mom thought it was cool. My dad thought it was cool, but he was more nervous. And I could tell like his like, and this came from the generational baggage on that side of the family. And this is nothing bad. It's just like, oh, why are you going to do that? You know, it's just kind of like bringing more logic into shit. And for me, that whole situation didn't need logic. Like the craziness of it was what I needed. The lack of logic is what I wanted. And I enjoy that sort of shit. Like, it doesn't make sense to go do this. That's dangerous. What about, what proof? What this, that? I don't care. Like, this is, my gut tells me this, so I'm going to go. So it's confronting because I'm going against the way that we had normally traveled places. Anytime I'd gone on a trip with my family, not anytime, but a lot of times if we like went somewhere, we didn't go a lot of places. We went here and there. But if we went somewhere, then it was like planned and organized and we knew what we were doing to a certain extent, right? There was a lot of times we just like, oh, let's go to LA and we're just going to figure it out or go where, right? But at the same time, if I say I'm going to fucking Peru, that's a whole nother thing. Like, I never went out of the country with my family as a kid. Like, when I was an adult, we went on a cruise. That was the only time I've ever been out of the country with my family. And that doesn't really count all the way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a very manufactured experience when you go on a cruise and you enter the ports and all that. It's all set up exactly for tourists, and the whole thing's this very particular facade and all of that, right? Nothing wrong with that. It's a load of fun. But it's not real traveling where you just fucking show up somewhere and it's not tuned to tourists. It's tuned to how the people actually fucking live there, you know? So when I go to Peru, it's confronting to my dad at the time because he's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I don't agree with it. I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And he had all his reasons, and they were very, very valid. And I'm like, I'm considering all of it. I'm like, it makes sense. And then I'm sitting there thinking, too, should I not go? And that crossed my mind a lot. And I start fighting with it. I'm like, damn, my dad said I shouldn't go. My dad is always looking out for me. And I know he always wants what's best for me. But in this instance, I know this is best for me, but he's not feeling good about it. He's feeling confronted about where I'm going and why I'm going and how I'm going. Now, that's fine, because by the time I came back and I had conversations with him about what I learned and what I did and the shit I saw and the experiences I had, my dad was like, yo, what? You really learned? And this was the first time my dad was ever like kind of speechless about some shit that I had learned and done. And he was just kind of like in this weird place of like, how the fuck did you get that from where you said you were going and what you were out to do? Because it didn't seem like the lessons I learned would have been attained through the journey I took. You know what I'm saying? So to him, it was just like, it wasn't logical. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? So just by me traveling the way that I traveled, it wasn't the normal way. We never had passports growing up. Our family never went, like, the farthest I ever went with my family growing up was Utah. No, that's not true. We went to Florida one time. I went to Florida once with my family, and then we went to Utah one time. And those are the two farthest I'd ever been with my family. We never went out of the country. We never did any of that stuff. I had to do all that on my own when I got older, you know, like before you could, like, I'll go to TJ before you needed passports and all that shit, you know, we'd do that in like college and whatever, but like right out of high school and stuff. But, you see, it's like that lifelong behavior. It's almost like, so the way that I see it is like my grandpa and my uncles, they all took the ultimate journey to come to America from China. They had to sneak here on a boat while war was cracking off and shit was crazy. And they were like kids and they took the ultimate fucking journey to get here. So why the fuck would I leave here to go check out anywhere else? We made it. You know what I'm saying? We're here. Why the fuck would you go anywhere else? And I could see how that would be kind of naturally be embedded in our family's way of thinking, because they're really like, you made it here. Why the fuck are you going to go anywhere else? You know what I'm saying? So I see how that can rub people the wrong way, or how it's kind of like it puts like a fucking jab in the side of our family's way of thinking and traveling and shit. You see what I'm saying? I hope you guys see how this applies to shit bigger than just traveling. Traveling is just the example. So it's crazy because it's like, how is healing ourselves changing how we parent our own children and how we see the world? How is doing our own self-work leading to our children being self-aware and free to be themselves? Well, you see, just like I said, it's like, I think we can allow our children to go and do what it is that they want to do and explore and try shit that you don't agree with, but you're honest and supportive and trying to be understanding, then you will win. You know, it's like your children will understand, wow, my parents gave me freedom. And that is the power of choice and the power of self-awareness. So when you have the power of choice and self-awareness, you're free, because you can choose how you feel. You can choose where you go. You can choose what you do. You can choose your actions. You can choose your non-actions. You can choose all of those things. So when we have the power of choice, that's basically what healing ourselves does, is it gives us the power of choice. We no longer say, oh, I can't go there because blank. Oh, I can't do this because blank. Oh, I can't whatever because blank. That no longer happens, because we've healed ourselves into the power of choice rather than the option and way of being where it's like, this is how it is. This is how life is. And that's not how it is, because there's way fucking more to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when we heal ourselves and we do our own work, it changes how we parent our kids and how they see the world and how we see the world. And when we keep seeing the world in new ways, then our children will keep seeing the world in new ways. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's shit my parents have told me and then they change their mind about it and they change their habits about it. And then later I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's probably the best way to do it. You know, I see my parents stop eating bad food and whatever. And I'm not like, oh, you guys are stupid. At first I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I'm like, oh, that's the right way to do things. And then I slowly just kind of start accepting it more, which is fucking weird, you know? And I'm fortunate because both my parents are on a path of doing them and doing themselves and working to expand and grow themselves. So I'm fortunate because it's like there's always something new to learn, and it's not just this settled, this is how the fuck we are, you know? So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back after these messages. We'll be right bicycle.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
Yes, this is Fred. Fred from Italy. Yes, my name is Fred. I have beautiful red sunglasses, and I will sell them to you because my name is Fred. Fred from Italy. But don't you ever worry, because I am Fred, and Fred says, "Hey, you son of a bitch, this is my commercial. This is finger licking, finger fucking, finger ducking, finger chucking, dicking, ducking, flipping, flucking Fred. And I'm here to tell you that Fred from Italy is a little bitch. And when I tell you what, I ain't gotta tell you why. Because you know what. And remember, be grateful, be appreciative, and don't be a little bitch. Finger licking, farmer flicking, finger dipping, finger chicken, finger fucking dipping, ducking, dodging, frogging, frickin', frogging, flipping, flogging, mauling, togging, gogging, cogging. Fred out.
Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
Welcome, bicycle, everybody. Hope you guys had a beautiful break there. Hope you guys went, got some coffee, took a piss, smoked a bowl, whatever the fuck you do. So, yes, welcome back. So, it's a trip, dude. Like, I think that, this show, I really have came to put together that this show is very, 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 very much about mental health. And at the same time, if I say it that way, it doesn't sound cool. Like if I hear a show, I'm like, oh, this is about mental health. Like I don't want to listen to it. But that really is like the underlying tone of the show. Like authenticity always. But yeah. Anyway, so how this was written, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to correct it how the way I think it should have been written. So, topic plug. This is a very, very small thing. Peep this. Probably freaking out like, oh no, what did I write? No, it's not like that. This is cool. So, teaching our kids emotional maturity.
Damn, dude.
That's what was written. I changed it. I changed the word maturity to intelligence. Teaching our kids emotional intelligence rather than teaching our kids emotional maturity, because intelligence has to become maturity. Failure has to happen and take place before it can mature into something usable, because the first few times you fail, you don't know how to use it again, you know, in like mental things. So that would be the little tweak I would put on that. Reason being is because nobody has access to emotional maturity for free right off the bat. You got to go through some shit and work through the intelligence in order for the intelligence to mature, right?
Damn, dude.
So it's easy to never want our kids to experience sadness, pain, or suffering. But it's necessary in order for them to grow and experience how to handle the full range of emotion. How can we be a safe place for them to learn the sad parts of life? Well, let's break this down. We don't want our kids to experience sadness, pain, and suffering. Right. So I think there's something that's very important with that is how do I even say this the right way? Like, that's true. And in this weird way, like, stick with me here. We got to pick our battles. So our kids are going to experience sadness, pain, and suffering. But we as parents have to pick our battles as to how much and what energy we're going to put in to each one of these different categories. So, for example, are you okay with your kids suffering, being unhappy, being sad because they didn't get the candy they wanted at 10 o'clock at night and you've been trying to get them to sleep for 2 hours now? Are you okay with them crying because they don't get the candy? I am. I would rather not give my kid the candy. Yo, sorry, you gotta fucking suffer. Right? Like, no, you don't get that right now. Sorry. Deal with it. Now, that is not the appropriate way to handle it if your kid is like asking for a hug and you're like, leave me alone, you needy fucker. And you, I'm trying to think of something extreme. And then they experience sad and suffering and pain in that way, that's not okay. You're stupid, you idiot, what's wrong with you? That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not the way to handle that. Because it's like, we want them to grow and to be able to handle the full range of human emotions. So I think it's important to know when it's okay for our kids to suffer. That sounds weird as fuck, but it's real. And it's like, if my kid scrapes his knee, he's got to learn to suffer that out because I can't take it from him. I can coddle him, but that's going to teach him to act like a punk ass, and literally that's going to train my kid to act like a bitch ass every time they get hurt. And I don't want that. So tough it out. Take a deep breath, stand up, stop crying. Like, cry if you want to, but take a deep breath, gather yourself. Most people only cry when they're hurt because they're scared, not because of the pain. And this is something that drives me crazy as somebody who is one of these people who really gets that. And then there's like people who play sports and stuff and they understand this as well. But people who don't, they don't get this. Where it's like, get hurt, shut the fuck up, and keep going. It's good for you. It only makes you stronger. And like it's corny, but it's like the phrase is like, well, pain is just weakness leaving the body. Now you can dissect that and say a bunch of funny shit about it and whatever, but it's just a good context to come from when you get hurt. If you're hurt and you're like, oh, this is just weakness leaving my body, then you're like, I feel pretty fucking strong right now. You're right? Like, damn, I just fucking bled out weakness. Let's fucking go, homie. So when we know how to suffer and when we know what to suffer over is a good thing. So I think knowing how and when and what to suffer over is a good thing. Now, I don't think we should ever stay in a state of suffering, but I do believe that suffering going to happen no matter the fuck what. Sadness is going to happen no matter the fuck what. So we have to let them feel and experience certain painful parts of life. And that's kind of about it. When your kid gets hurt, you can either go, oh my God, are you okay? Or you can go, dude, that was a sick ass fall. Like, whoa, dude, you got a cut? man, you're going to be so much stronger now. Hell yeah. All right, cool. Let's go wipe it up. Well, maybe don't say hell yeah, but you get what I'm saying though? Or you can be like, oh my God, are you okay, my baby? Come here, come here. Oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Here, let me give you kisses. That's cool. You care for your kids, but you're creating a bigger problem when you act like that. If you chose to let your kids suffer in that moment, they would be okay and they would no longer relate to getting hurt as this big fucking deal where they need to cry and look for attention and look for their mom, look for their dad, look for the nurse, look for the doctor. You don't need to do all that. So that would be another example of passing down generational baggage. I'm passing my fear on to you. And I think fear is the biggest and heaviest baggage that we have and pass on to through our generations is fear. Don't go there because this happened to your uncle. Oh, this happened to your grandpa. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was the case, this is a true fucking story. My great grandpa on my Norwegian side, back in the day, this is like the maybe 50s or 60s, right? Maybe even 40s. But I think 50s or 60s. There was one car in town, literally one car. Like, this was before cars. There was one car in the whole town. And my great grandpa managed to get hit by it crossing the street.
Damn, dude.
This is a true story. My great grandpa lived in a small ass town. I think this was in Wisconsin somewhere. And he got hit by the only singular car in the entire city. I don't know how the fuck that happened. But let's say that happened. We say, our family doesn't drive. We don't cross streets. And let's say that just kept getting passed on. Because, for example, one of my best friends, his mom, she hit somebody like way back in the day and killed somebody. And she vowed to never drive again. And she never has. She's like 70 something now. And she hasn't driven since she was like in her early 20s or something like that. It's crazy. So when we pass on our fears, that's the scary part. So we got to be careful of that and be mindful of that. Rather than passing on fears, we need to pass on how to do it correctly or like why you shouldn't, you know? And that's kind of the tricky part because like sometimes you got to touch the stove to know what hot means, right? So it's like, what tools can we what tools can we give our kids to face any situations as adults? So this is where I kind of circle back and I believe this to the absolute fullest. This is simple, but it's deep. But it's simple. Which is, what tools can we give our kids to face any situations as adults? I truly believe the power of choice.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
If we can give our kids the power of choice, then they know that they always have fucking options. And if you have options, you're never stuck because there's options. If you have options, you're not stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you get your truck stuck in the sand. If you have a shovel, you have a tow rope, you got a buddy with another truck, you got options. You're not actually stuck because you're about to be unstuck. You see what I'm saying? So the stuck part doesn't really matter because you have options to get out of there. And this is what happens in relationships too, is you're stuck. People become stuck. The relationship feels stuck and they feel like they have no more options in life. And they feel like, I just need to die in this relationship. That's how it's going to go. I would rather see my partner see that they killed me rather than me just go have all my options and independence and get out of this shitty relationship. So when we can give our kids the power of choice, all right, so how does that look in real life? Well, you got hurt. You got choices. You can cry like a little bitch, or you can feel it, own it, clean it up, take a deep breath, and keep fucking going. And be like, whoa, that was a cool cut. Those are two options that you have. And they're always available every fucking single time you get hurt. Every time, no matter what. So this is the thing, though, is we often don't look at emotional pain that way. We don't look at emotional baggage that way. To where, yo, you got hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks, bro. Man, I broke up with my girlfriend, my fiance, my boyfriend, my husband, whatever. People are like, dang, I'm sorry. Like, man, that sucks. You know, it's like, I'm here for you. And that's cool. You know, it shows people care, but there's no power of choice in that. fuck, bro, I'm sorry. It's like, damn, I'm sorry. What do you think you're gonna do now? Like, what do you want? What do you want to do? And as soon as you start asking questions like that, the person who's hurt starts realizing, whoa, hold on, there's still choices. I still have options. And when I'm saying options in terms of relationships, I don't mean, oh, I got options in terms of like other people. I mean, yes, that is one of them. But more so, I mean like your own personal freedom, your option to choose how you feel, the option to choose what you eat, where you go, when you want, how you want, whatever, right? That's what I mean. The option to choose how you feel. That's ultimately what it is. And when we have the ability and the power to choose in any situation where we get hurt mentally or emotionally or even physically, remember the power of choice. If you can remember the power of choice, then you have options. And if you have options, then you're not stuck and it's not that fucking bad.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
If you have options, it's not that bad. If you have choice, the power of choice, it's not that bad. The power of choice and options is the same fucking thing. So essentially in this context, so you have the power to choose that and you can fucking do that. And that's what's so fucking cool, right? Is I've said this before and I'll say it again. The main thing I teach my oldest son, and I'm going to teach my younger one when he's old enough to comprehend it, is in life, no matter what, always, you have two choices in life. Learn or be offended.
Damn, dude.
I'm going to say that again. You, I, me, we, us, they, he, she, them, it, whatever the fuck, pregnant emoji man, we all have the option to either learn or be motherfucking offended. Motherfucking learn or motherfucking be offended. Learn or be offended. Learn or be offended. Those are two options always. And the more that we can all get that into our motherfucking head, we'll stop bitching about shit. We'll stop fucking complaining about shit. And we'll start doing shit. Because you can learn or be offended. And if you learned and you didn't do anything about it, then you're probably going to be offended, which means there's probably still motherfucking more to learn about that shit.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Let's go. So the best thing we can teach our kids is the power of choice. In any situation, in any circumstance, we all always have the power of choice. Always. If you don't, then you're offended. Get your head out of your offense. See, this is the time. This is the thing, is that oftentimes it takes being offended to be able to actually fucking learn the whole motherfucking point and message and reason that the whole fucking issue's going on in the first place, right? That's why this whole thing with my kid's mom and all this shit, I'm offended and I'm learning. But I'm not going to stay offended. I'm going to stay motherfucking learning. I'm going to use how much I'm offended to learn, to be better, to have conversations, to get better, to share this shit, to help other people out and work through this process. Relationships, they should be an addition, not a subtraction to life. Now, they will take energy and they will take time and they will take work. It's not going to always be easy. But here's the thing, is that it should not always be hard. And that's where it's like we all get screwed up, right? So remember our options. If you have options, you've got choices. If you've got those, you're in the clear. Like, you're good. You're okay. You know what I'm saying? If you have no more options, then shit's fucked. And if you have no more options, then you're dead. And then even once you die, you have options, because your faith can help dictate that. And I believe, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are your options of when you die? Well, first option is, I want my funeral to be like this. Second option is, I want to be buried or cremated or turned into a tree or whatever the fuck. Next option is, I want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. I believe in heaven. I believe in hell. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I want to be reincarnated. I want to reincarnate as a tree. No, it's not possible. Yes, it is possible. I want to reincarnate as myself again, as a person, as a baby, as a dog, as an ant, as grass. I want to reincarnate as a bus. Whatever the fuck. That's another option to pick. You can read the whole fucking I'm fucking this up. The Tibetan book of, is it the Tibetan book of death? Tibetan book of secret? I forget. But why am I spacing on this? There's also the Chinese one. But basically these books, I cannot believe I'm spacing on the titles of these books right now. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. They're the fucking thick ass books. And basically what these books are is guides to and through the afterlife. Tibetan Book of the Dead. That's what it is. That, and then the Chinese one, I don't know if it's Art of War. No, I don't know. But those, it's a guide. It's a roadmap of how to navigate through the afterlife and in the spirit world. And that's the whole point of those books. So if you read those books, then you can be more prepared to enter that, and you'll have a certain type of understanding. You can do different plant medicines and gain different understandings of afterlife and spirit world and all that type of stuff. Oh, my coffee got cold. Damn. Yuck, that was gross. Dude, my coffee flavor was so on point, but that last cold sip was kind of gross. Anyway, the power of choice. We have my whole point of all that, talking about the Tibetan Book of Dead, is we have the power of choice. And we can choose what we subscribe to and what we have faith in and what we believe in and what we subscribe to. So I think the most powerful thing we can give our kids and instill in them and be the example of is the power of choice. There's so many different things I've told my oldest son, and I look back, I'm like, yo, I'm confusing as fuck. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, I'm making good and clear points and I'm living by example. It's like there was shit about like Trump where I was like talking mad shit to my son. Yeah, can you believe this? Blah, blah, blah. Time goes by. I was like, bro, I was wrong about Trump. I was wrong about this and that and all these different things. And he's like, whoa, like, really? And I'm just like, I have no ego about it. I'm just like, dude, I was fucking wrong. And he's like, oh, for real? How come? It made sense what you were saying in the first place. I'm like, I know. It made sense to me then too. But check this out. It still makes sense. But look at this layer. And with this layer, that no longer makes sense. So I think when we're able to be wrong and not make it this thing, if you try and act smart or like you know everything in front of your kids, they're not going to respect you. Your kids have to know that there's some shit you don't fucking understand in order for them to have that extra like piece of curiosity, I feel like, to explore and figure shit out on their own terms, right? So the last piece of this is how healing our past traumas helps our kids see and understand that we're growing as humans for the better and that sometimes pain is necessary for growth. Absolutely.
Damn, dude.
And that ties into pretty much everything we just shared, which is like, dude, watch me suffer. This is how to do it. And me putting this podcast out and me being vulnerable with all these topics and all these things, to me, I believe, now I don't know, but I believe that this is the best example and thing that I can do to teach my kids on how the fuck to act when shit falls the fuck apart. You practice gratitude, you practice being present, and you practice being understanding, and you practice compassion. And honestly, my kids teach me more about compassion than I teach them. And that's what's beautiful, is because I'm open with them and I'm like, bro, this is what's crazy. This is how I'm handling it. What do you think? Or it's like, yo, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And this is how come I'm doing it. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or sometimes like, well, why are you doing that? Why don't you do this? And it's like, oh, you're right. You know, but I think what happens is, when we go through the shit, when we understand and we live as if there is two options always, we can learn or be offended, then we can give that to them. Like, it helps them understand, oh, I have two options. If you really live that way, your kids will see that. And there's times where I tell my son, Nate, I'm like, bro, I'm so fucking pissed and offended, and I'm learning. I'm using this opportunity to be mad in order to start learning. How about you? He's like, I'm not really offended by this. I'm just kind of learning as it goes. All right, fucking beautiful, bro. If you need to be offended in order to help you learn, take the time to do that. But this is the thing is when you learn, as you learn, you understand that as you're offended, taking the time to learn how to be offended via understanding we have choice and options, then you're pretty much in the clear and you're doing it correctly and responsibly. So go be offended and learn responsibly. You know what I mean? Learning how to be offended is one of the biggest fucking things ever. And learning how to be offended responsibly comes from the power of choice. In order to learn how to be offended responsibly, you have to know that you've got choice and motherfucking options. Otherwise, what else is there? If you have no choice and options, then you got nothing. So that's the thing is, you can learn to be offended always, no matter the fuck what. So you guys, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. It's a beautiful world out here. No matter what the fuck is going on, have some gratitude. Help that attitude. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is season 2, episode 39. Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
All right, you guys, real quick, something really serious here. I need you guys to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell their uncle, to tell their cousin, to tell their bird watchers, dog watchers, cousins, neighbors, perverted dude in the bushes, best friends, moms, cousins, uncles, brothers, dog sitters, dog walkers, sleep coach, tennis coaches, ex-boyfriends, apartment manager, about the Damn Dude motherfucking podcast. Go leave us a 5-star written review. Share the show. We don't charge nothing. This shit's all free. I just give you guys this out of my fucking heart for free. No commercials, no motherfucking ads. So go help us out. Use the show and make an ad. Who can make the best fucking commercial for us, you guys? Let's do that. You guys have a beautiful day. Much love. I love you guys. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.